Well, good afternoon, everyone in the west coast of the US, and good morning to everyone in Asia. Delighted to be able to get together for today, which is November 11 here, 2025 session in our series on AI innovations from Asia. And today we have a special presentation by Dr. Jung-Woo Ha, who is the Senior Secretary to the President of Korea in regard to AI policy and developing a national AI infrastructure in South Korea. Dr. Ha is a pioneer in bridging AI research and also industry and also national policy. Um, he, in his current position, is right now, as we speak, advising President Lee of South Korea in a daily briefing about AI for Korea. Before this position, which he just started this year, he led the AI lab at private sector corporation Naver for 10 years, where he spearheaded the development of Korea's kind of flagship LLM named Hyperclova X. And he also co-directed joint AI research projects with both Seoul National University and also KAIST, the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. He has served as a government advisor. He chaired the AI Data Division of Korea's Digital Platform Government Committee from 2022 until this year. And he's received a number of awards, uh, including the Young Engineer Award and the Prime Minister's Software Contribution Award. Um, he is extremely busy, and we're delighted that he's able to find time to be live with us for Q&A. But his presentation is going to start with video because he's been briefing the president for the last 30 minutes. So why don't we start the video, and we will have Q&A at the end of his presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Jung-Ha, the Senior Secretary to the President for AI and Future Planning, the Republic of Korea. First, I'm sorry that I could not attend the lecture in person because I should be uh, in my office, considering the property of my job, because I should be with the President Lee. Mm, okay, today's my talk is about the Korea's national AI strategy. Uh, mm, I will briefly the first I briefly introduce myself, and for 40 minutes I will explain our strategy. Okay. Yeah. Basically, I was the research scientist and the research major in public sector. My previous the company was Naver, and in June I moved to the presidential office. So actually, I am the newbie, the junior in the public sectors. Okay, uh, I will start. According to the Tortoise Media Global AI Index 2024, the US and China are still leading the world in AI. They've been built massive ecosystems around the research, innovation, and industrial adoption. But what's really interesting is that more than 10 so-called AI middle power nations are now competing fiercely for the third position. These countries are accelerating their investment in AI research, data infrastructure, and talent development to narrow the gap with the top two. Most other global reports show a very similar picture. The US and China remain dominant, but the race among the next tier is heating up fast. In this competition, Korea is holding a strong position, typically ranked around fifth or sixth worldwide. This shows that Korea is no longer just catching up. It's becoming one of the key players shaping the global future of AI. Competition in AI is becoming more intense than ever. In July, the US announced its new AI action plan, and one place really stood up, winning the race. It clearly expressed America's determination to take the lead and win the global AI competition. Just 1 week later, China responded with its own AI action plan, followed by the Shanghai AI conference, where the government emphasized its strong commitment to advancing and spreading AI worldwide. Both countries are sending a very clear message. They are not just participating in the AI race, they are determined to lead it. This growing rivalry between the US and China is now shaping the global landscape of AI in powerful and strategic ways. Major countries are taking similar steps. The UK and the EU both announced their AI action plans earlier this year. Each plan highlights the importance of responsible AI development, safety, and competitiveness within their own regions. Then in July, Germany introduced what it calls the AI offensive, a national strategy focused on driving industrial transformation through AI. This initiative reflects Germany's intention to bring AI directly into its manufacturing and engineering core, essentially turning its industrial strengths into an AI-powered advantage. EU has long been known for its regulation-first approach through the AI Act, emphasizing safety, transparency, and ethical standards. But at the Paris AI Action Summit, we began to sense a shift in tone. The mood in Europe has changed, especially with the launch of the AI Continent Action Plan, which highlights a stronger commitment to innovation. Most recently, the release of the Apply AI strategy confirmed this transformation. It shows that the EU is no longer focused only on regulating AI. It's now entering the global race for innovation. As global AI competition intensifies and the US-China power dynamic continues, many nations are now pursuing what's called sovereign AI, a way to prevent dependence on foreign AI powers. But sovereign AI doesn't simply mean owning a foundation model, and it's not an exclusive or isolationist concept. The real question is how much control and capability a country can secure, from infrastructure and technology ecosystems to industrial applications across society. No single nation can handle every layer entirely on its own. Some areas must be developed through domestic strengths, while others require collaboration with international partners. Still, from a supply chain resilience perspective, maintaining as much control as possible remains essential. From this two-track view of sovereign AI, combining autonomy and strategic cooperation, I will now introduce Korea's AI strategy broken down by its key components. Let's start with the energy infrastructure. From an energy perspective, Korea is essentially an island nation. It cannot import electricity from neighboring countries, so every unit of power must be generated domestically. While Korea is not currently facing an energy shortage, The rise of AI data centers and other high-performance computing facilities will dramatically increase energy demand in the coming years. To prepare for this, Korea is pursuing a balanced energy mix policy, combining renewable sources such as solar and wind with nuclear power to ensure stability and sustainability. In addition, the country is building what we call an energy highway, a nationwide grid system that will connect regions seamlessly and deliver enough power to support the growing AI ecosystem. This approach ensures that Korea's AI ambitions are built on a strong, resilient, and future-ready energy foundation. Next, let's talk about semiconductors, one of Korea's greatest strengths. In fact, this is one of the main reasons why global AI leaders like OpenAI and NVIDIA are investing so heavily in Korea. Both Samsung and SK Hynix dominate the global market for memory semiconductors, especially HBM, which is essential for training large AI models. Together, they form a powerful two-leader system that anchors the world's AI hardware supply chain. Even industry icons like Sam Altman and Jensen Huang have said that the AI revolution would not have been possible without Korea. That statement captures just how critical Korea's role has become in supporting the entire AI infrastructure ecosystem worldwide. When it comes to GPUs, NVIDIA currently holds an almost complete monopoly over the global market. However, the landscape is beginning to shift, especially in inference chips, where various AI chips, particularly NPUs, are emerging as strong alternatives. In Korea, some companies like Furious AI and Rebellions have already reached the unicorn status, while others such as HyperXL and DeepX are showing tremendous potential in developing next-generation NPUs. The Korean government is actively supporting this ecosystem, establishing performance evaluation protocol and real-world testing systems for NPUs, and planning to adopt domestic AI chip first in the public sector. This combination of policy support and private innovation is positioning Korea as a serious contender in the global AI semiconductor race, beyond memory and now into the era of AI compute sovereignty. We became the third country in the world after the US and China to develop a large language model with more than 100 billion parameters back in May 2021. However, the pace of innovation has since slowed, mainly due to a shortage of GPUs within the Korea. To address this issue, the new government plans to build a national AI computing center by 2028, a hyperscale AI data center equipped with at least 50,000 of the latest GPUs. This facility will provide advanced computing resources to universities, research institutes, startups, and government-led R&D projects, ensuring that innovation is no longer constrained by hardware limits. What's more, the center will be powered by renewable energy, particularly solar, combined with energy storage systems to guarantee stable and sustainable power. Through this approach, Korea aims to foster a new generation of AI data centers based on distributed renewable grid, positioning them as a key national strategic industry for the future. In the world, only a handful countries have developed their own national cloud infrastructure. Korea is one of them, While global platforms like Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform are widely used, Korea also has a strong ecosystem of domestic cloud providers. These Korean companies play a crucial role in protecting data sovereignty, especially in sensitive sectors such as public administration, national defense, and security. By operating independent cloud systems within the country, they ensure that critical data, including government and defense information, remains fully under national control. This balance between global interoperability and sovereign control gives Korea a unique advantage. It can embrace global innovation while safeguarding its most vital digital assets at home. Are often called the new oil of the AI era, and Korea is treating it exactly that way. The Korean government has been actively building and releasing large-scale data sets across a wide range of fields, including language, images, healthcare, and disaster safety, to fuel innovation in the AI industry. These datasets are made publicly available so that startups and researchers and companies can train their AI models more effectively and accelerate development. In addition, the government is opening up public sector data, not just in processed form, but as raw data and APIs, enabling private companies to use it for AI training, business services, and new product creation. Through this open and inclusive approach, Korea is ensuring that data accessibility becomes a key driver of national competitiveness in the age of AI. Korea is home to a growing number of companies that have developed their own foundation models, including large language models, entirely with domestic technology, and many of them have released their models as open source. A great example is X1 by the LGAI Research Institute and Hyperclover X by Naver. Both of these models, featuring advanced reasoning and multimodal capabilities, were published on Hugging Face, each surpassing 1 billion downloads shortly after release. Startups are also making impressive contributions. Offstage, for example, gained an international attention after open sourcing its Solar model, while strengthening Korea's presence in the global open AI community. Together, these efforts demonstrate that Korea is not just using AI, it's helping build and share their technology that defines the next generation of AI. What's remarkable is that many of these open source models from Korean companies are now achieving world-class performance. According to the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, several of them rank among the top performing foundation models, excluding those from the US and China. This means that Korea's open models are not only innovative but also globally competitive, standing shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Of course, these rankings fluctuate daily as new models are released and updated. But one thing is clear, when we set aside the US and China, Korean AI companies consistently occupy the top tiers of global performance chart. This proves that Korea has built a genuine capability in AI model development, one that commands international respect and influence. As a result of these achievements, Korea has now been recognized as one of the world's leading nations in foundation model development. According to FDI Intelligence, a subsidiary of the Financial Times, Korea ranked third globally in its most recent foundation model country ranking, just behind the US and China. This recognition reflects Korea's strong capabilities across the entire AI value chain, from data and semiconductors to model training and deployment. Moreover, the latest AI division report published by Microsoft also placed Korea is the third place, noting that the country is only about 6 months behind the US in terms of technological division and adoption speed, like this table. Yeah. The competition is now moving beyond foundation models into the era of frontier models, where the world's tech giants, mainly from the US, are setting an incredibly high bar. It's a race that very few countries can compete in alone. To meet this challenge, the Korean government has launched a major initiative starting in August, selecting five national AI champion companies. These companies are being supported with around 1K NVIDIA H100 GPUs, extensive multilingual and multimodal datasets, and funding for top-tier AI talent recruitment. The goal is to have these national champions develop advanced AI models and release them as open source so that startups, researchers, and developers both in Korea and around the world, can build innovative applications on top of them. Furthermore, these open source open models will be applied to public sector innovation and to solving major social challenges, ensuring that the benefits of AI extend beyond industry to the wider society. All of this is possible because Korea already has a vibrant and competitive ecosystem of AI startups across a wide range of industries, from healthcare and finance to manufacturing and education. While it is true that Korea's domestic investment market is still much smaller than that of the US, the government is taking bold steps to close that gap. It has announced the creation of a national growth fund worth about $102 billion dedicated to supporting AI infrastructure, strategic industries, and AI-driven startups that power innovation. This massive investment will not only provide capital, but also strengthen the connection between research, entrepreneurship, and commercialization, helping Korea's AI ecosystem grow into a sustainable, world-class engine of innovation. The major strengths of Korea lies in the field of physical AI, where AI agents are embedded in real-world devices such as robots, vehicles, and industrial machines, allowing them to act intelligently in the physical world. To make this possible, you need more than algorithms. You need data-rich manufacturing environments, well-connected industrial systems, and the ability to integrate AI and robotics directly into production sites. The US, which leads in AI and software but has a relatively smaller manufacturing base, Korea combines both worlds, world-class technology and deep industrial expertise in electronics, automobiles, shipbuilding, semiconductors, and steel. With this powerful combination of infrastructure, technology, and industrial capability, Korea is uniquely positioned to become a global leader in physical AI, just as Jensen Huang himself once noted. We already have strong examples of innovation through public-private collaboration in Korea. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the government opened up critical data sets, including information on patients, masks, and vaccines to the private sector. In response, startup developers quickly created mobile apps that provided real-time updates to citizens, helping the country respond swiftly and effectively to the crisis. A similar model is now being applied in other areas. For example, flood prediction data and road closure information caused by heavy rainfall are being integrated into navigation systems, helping drivers avoid the danger and travel safely. These cases clearly demonstrate how data openness and public-private cooperation can transform challenges into opportunities for smart, citizen-centered innovation. For the public sector, this use case is about using AI to improve our response to new infectious diseases. Local hospitals and AI companies have joined hands to jointly develop solutions that proactively identify new respiratory infections. The purpose of development is to collect and share clinical data from COVID-19 confirmed patients, analyze them using AI, assess the level of patient health risk, and inform medical staff so that treatment can be prompt and timely. This AI solution is currently undergoing approval by the Ministry of Food and Drugs to ensure that it can be used safely in the hospital setting. This example is a civil protection technology in which AI-assisted CCTV analysis helps us find the missing children or other persons and bring them to safety. Korea is now moving beyond traditional task-centered public AI project toward building what we call an AI universal basic society. This vision aims to use AI not just for efficiency, but to fundamentally improve people's lives in areas such as education, social safety nets, welfare, basic healthcare, and disaster response. By integrating AI into these essential public systems, Korea is creating a model where AI directly supports citizens' daily needs, helping teachers personalize learning, assisting healthcare workers, protecting vulnerable communities, and guiding emergency response in real time. In short, AI in Korea is evolving from a technological tool into a social infrastructure, shaping future where innovation and inclusion go hand in hand. One of the most important policy directions for the Korean government is balanced regional development. Korea's growth has reached a turning point largely because the Seoul-centered model of development is facing clear limits. The next stage of growth must come from regional innovation, strengthening industrial competitiveness through AI-driven transformation, or what we call AX, AI transformation. For example, in southwestern region, new growth will comes from renewable energy, AI-based distributed grids, and AI-powered mobility. In southeastern region, opportunities lie in applying AI to marine, port, shipbuilding, and manufacturing industries. Meanwhile, the Daejeon area, home to many of Korea's top research institutes, will lead the way in AI for science, driving breakthroughs across multiple scientific fields. Through these region-specific AI strategies, Korea aims to create balanced, sustainable growth that empowers every part of the nation to thrive in the AI era. All of the strategies introduced so far are being implemented step by step through 2030, and they require massive financial investment to make them real. In fact, Korea's 2026 national R&D budget is set to increase by more than 90%, marking the largest growth in history. Even more striking, the AI sector budget alone will triple, reflecting the government's strong determination to accelerate innovation. Of course, when compared to the US, the total amount may still seem relatively modest, but when viewed in proportion to the nation's GDP size, it clearly shows just how serious and committed Korea is about leading the global AI transformation. Through this sustained investment and clear long-term vision, Korea is positioning itself not just to participate in the AI race, but to help shape the direction of AI for the world. To drive all of these initiatives effectively, strong government governance is essential. From the very start of the new administration, Korea established the Office of the Senior Secretary for AI and Future Planning within the presidential office, a first of its kind. At the same time, the MSIT, the Minister of Science and ICT, was elevated to the rank of Deputy Prime Minister, and both the Senior Secretary and the Deputy Prime Minister are AI industry experts appointed specifically to ensure agile and informed decision making in this fast changing field. Then, in September, Korea launched the National AI Strategic Council, which now serves as the central control tower for the nation's AI policy and strategy. The Council is currently finalizing Korea's AI action plan, aligned with the goal of becoming one of the global top three nations in AI, AIG3. This plan, built around these three pillars and 12 key areas, will be unveiled in the late November or early December, setting the foundation for Korea's AI strategy in the years ahead. No matter how strong a strategy or governance structure may be, nothing is possible without talent. Unfortunately, as noted in the Stanford AI Index report this year, Korea has been identified as a net exporter of AI talent. This is very challenging to the government is now determined to overcome. Of course, this is the contribution of worldwide, but not in Korea. Last Friday, the government announced a bold R&D innovation and talent initiative under the motto, a nation where scientists are respected and young people dream of becoming scientists again. At the heart of this policy is the idea of turning failure into an asset, creating an environment where researchers can fail, learn, and try again. The plan includes designating national scientists and young national scientists as role models, while providing exceptional support for their research. To improve working conditions, the government will expand the GPU infrastructure, enable dual positions between academia and industry, and introduce incentive programs to attract both Korean scientists abroad and top international researchers to work in Korea. Finally, many of bureaucratic obstacles that have frustrated researchers in the past will be eliminated or reformed, paving the way for a truly innovation-driven R&D culture. Since the launch of new administration, major global tech and investment leaders have shown strong confidence in Korea's national AI strategy, and they were backing it with real investments. It started with BlackRock, soon followed by OpenAI, NVIDIA, and Amazon AWS, all announcing significant commitments to Korea. OpenAI has brought Korea's two leading memory chip companies into its Stargate project, recognizing their critical role in the AI revolution. NVIDIA pledged to supply 260,000 of its latest GPUs and to jointly advance physical AI applications in Korea. AWS is expanding its existing 4 billion US dollar investment in the southeast region by adding another 5 billion dollar to build the next generation AI data centers. And the Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, declared his intention to invest alongside global partners to help Korea become the AI capital in Asia. Together, these commitments mark an historic moment, signaling that Korea is no longer just a participant, but a strategic hub in the global AI ecosystem. The accelerating global race for AI leadership lies a growing concern, the AI divide. This gap is widening even faster than the traditional digital divide, and it could soon become one of the world's most serious global challenges. While few leading nations are advancing rapidly with massive investment and computing power, many others being left behind, unable to access the same technology, data, or infrastructure. This imbalance risks creating not just technological inequality, but economic and social inequality on a global scale. If left unaddressed, the AI divide could determine which countries benefit from innovation and which struggle to keep up in the new era. That's why Korea believes AI must be developed as a shared global good, ensuring that the opportunities of AI are open and accessible to all. To address the growing AI divide, Korea took a major step forward at the APEC 2025 summit held in Gyeongju at the end of October. During this meeting, Korea officially announced the APEC AI initiative, a collective effort to ensure that all economies in the Asia Pacific region can share in the benefits of AI-driven innovation. This initiative represents Korea's strong commitment to bridging the AI gap, helping developing economies gain access to AI technologies, data, and capacity building programs. What makes this declaration even more historic is that it marked the first AI statement made at the head of state level with the participation of both the US and China. In that sense, it was not only a regional milestone but also a significant symbol of global cooperation, demonstrating that AI can be a bridge for collaboration, not competition. Last December, Korea faced a moment of crisis that would have seemed unthinkable in a modern democracy. A brief period of martial law and internal unrest. But the Korean people achieved something extraordinary. Without shedding a single drop of blood, they reclaimed their democracy peacefully through what has come to be known as the Revolution of Light. This remarkable moment led to the birth of a new people centered government built on the principles of justice, unity, and civic courage. Now, Korea is determined to take this spirit of K democracy even further, using AI technology to make democracy more transparent, inclusive, and participatory. And beyond its borders, Korea hopes to share this experience with other countries, showing how technology and civic values together can strengthen democracy in the 21, 21st century. All these efforts, Korea aims to become not just an AI powerhouse for itself, but the AI capital of Asia, a nation that drives global innovation while fostering shared growth across the region. By combining technology, openness, and cooperation, Korea will help shape an AI future that benefits everyone, a future built not on competition alone, but on collaboration and common progress. Lastly, the Korean government will soon host an event in San Francisco to attract top AI science and technology talent. I will not be attending myself, but I hope you will show great interest and support. Thank you. See you in some minutes.
So thanks very much to Dr. Ha for the prepared remarks. I know that he's in the room because he's been answering questions online in the chat window. Thanks very much for the three very, concise and detailed answers that you gave to the questions. If I can ask one or two questions to kind of move into
Sure.
more of a conversational format. It's really impressive to see the breadth of the Korean government's approach to integrating AI, looking at everything from national economic development to the basic energy infrastructure and also basic talent needs. Um, a few years ago, when Kai-Fu Lee wrote AI Superpowers, he predicted that it would really be only the US and China because of the sheer scale of the data that the two countries have. Does Korea have a shortage of data? Are you able to have sufficient data to keep up the kind of development as this competition continues?
Okay, so many people consider the shortage of the data, but I think this is related to the language model or the multimodal foundation
Yep.
models. But we need to consider some the other perspective or other aspect of AI. For example, physical AI. So considering the physical AI, we need too many data from the industries or factories or the other the some the manufacturing site or the shipbuilding or the mobility or something like those. So Korea has many well established factories or industries, including the semiconductors, mobile phones, mobilities, and shipbuildings or other manufacturing factories. So and the Korea government supports for the um, data pipeline for data construction and the data pre-processing, something like those. So in terms of physical AI, then the Korea are ready to make the real world foundation model or the other industrial foundation models for the physical AI, I think. So the Jensen Huang or the other global AI leaders focus on the environment of Korea, uh,
Yeah.
in particular the industrial part. Also, I think the language model or the other foundation models, so all of the AI players can use internet data, right? So of
Yeah.
course, some the copyright data might be issues, but I think these all of the internet data, internet multimodal data can be available for all players. So we can use or we can leverage these data and the industrial data, and we have the environment to apply these AI models and or the domain specific or some industrial AI to our the factories or our industrial sites. That is our the unique advantage, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. A kind of second question from me has to do with the AI bubble. The valuations of AI companies are very high related
Mm,
to other companies, both
mm,
in the public markets and also among startup companies. Does Korea see a need to take a special response to the AI
mm,
bubble, or how is that playing out from your
mm.
perspective?
Yeah, actually, the Korean stock market and the Korea economic environment has related to or follows the change of the U.S. stock markets. So
I see.
many people worries about the AI bubbles, but I think without bubble, it is not possible to make innovation. Bubble is a powerful innovation, I think. Without the bubble, only that there can be only the very gradual or marginal improvement, I think. So we need to consider that the current AI make money in real money. Of course, the many major companies kind of such as OpenAI has some loss, right? But we need to consider the expectation of the Anthropics in next or 2 years after the 2027. They will expect the break-even point for the in 2027. So in first, we can make money in the AI infrastructure or AI data center side, and we need some the remind the uh, values or the profits in mobile era. That it took about the 3 or 4 years in the mobile era, right? So I think the compared to the mobile era, the AI scene is faster than mobile the economy.
Yeah.
So no, so I think that many people worried about the inner circle, the investment and the centering of open AI and the other AI chip companies or GPU companies, something like those. But I think this is not. I think it is not very the pessimistic. I think. Okay.
Okay. So I think that Korea's large companies are very much adopting AI and are very active in developing new AI. For the large number of small and medium-sized companies in Korea, is there a policy aspect to helping them not
Yeah, sure.
become shut out of AI?
Sure. Actually, the ultimate goal is to enhance or foster the AI ecosystem for the SME or the small companies and creators, I think. So the Korean government has prepared some national budget to support small and middle sized companies and creators to use or to ever leverage AI technology or AI application. Also, we provide some the deregulation for the using AI for many small companies. Also, Korea big companies such as SK announced they will make or develop their own industrial AI platform based on digital twin, and they will uh, open or release their platform for the supply chain small companies.
Uh-huh.
They announced that, yeah, using the new GPUs. So this collaboration is very important to make some AI ecosystem more sustainable and reliable. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Soyun has asked a specific question about memory chip companies, but I want to take it and change it a little bit. I think that we've seen a number of stages in generative AI since 2023. First, it was building the models, and training was a big deal. Kind of the second stage was getting more business value from the models. And really, the third stage has turned into what I would call the era of the AI agent this year.
Yeah.
Um, so this implies this huge shift from focusing just on training and building models
Mm,
to actually inferencing with them.
mm,
How are companies positioning themselves to take advantage of this
mm,
shift? What's
mm,
happening with AI agents, especially?
mm, mm,
And
mm,
also, what kind of things are the government doing to promote keeping up?
mm. Okay, good. So actually, as I mentioned, there are all layers companies in Korea. For example, Samsung and SK Hynix provide the memory side, and SK can provide the data center layer.
Yeah,
Also, the other companies such as Naver or the KT can provide some cloud layer. And the Naver or the other startups or tech companies can make some AI agent. Also, Hyundai Motors or the other companies can make them using these AI agents for the robot agent or the AI based software defined vehicle. Well, this
yeah,
is another application, right? So considering the total full stack of AI components in Korea, so each player is focusing on their each advantages for the each component for considering their business models, right? And Korean government support for each players for enhancing their capability or the supporting their capability for the GPU infrastructures or the other deregulation or the budget or the new project, including the academia or the other stops. Okay, so that is the total coordinating and make some strategy is the role of the government. Also, then the government can support for each layer to enhance their capabilities. Okay,
okay.
yeah.
So, how is Korea keeping the development of this sovereign AI kind of
Mm.
all the framework from isolating itself?
Mm. Yeah. Actually, I mentioned that the sovereign AI does not mean isolation. Um, I think the US cannot make some sovereign AI, considering the NVIDIA GPU is
Yeah,
made via TSMC, right? TSMC
good
factory
point.
in Taiwan,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
right.
So global collaboration is very important. So Korea is the same cases. So as you know, Korea cannot make some GPUs, right? The very competitive AI chips for training. So we have some dependency on the GPU. So in this case, we need to make some sustainable collaboration with the US or the US companies, right? But for the some components to where the Korea government had some advantage or related to the security, national security issues, considering the defense AI or the public AI, something like those, then
Yeah.
Korean government more heavily or strongly support this component. So
Okay.
to secure sovereign AI, we need to use the two-track approaches. One is enhancing our the internal capability, and the other is strengthen the collaboration and relationship between the like-minded countries. Okay, that is basic uh, method how to make sovereign AI. Okay.
So, in that regard, you must have been very busy during the APEC meeting that you
Yeah.
mentioned in your prepared remarks.
Yeah.
Um, did other countries have people like you who are really focusing on national policy for AI? Who did you
Mm.
talk to?
Actually, I was following my the Mr. President, President
Okay,
Lee.
so you
So,
followed your
yeah.
principal. Okay.
So, when I met the many ministers from the APEC countries such as
Yeah,
Indonesia and Singapore and Thailand, they want to foster or enhancing their AI capability and so their sovereign AI. So, as I mentioned, the each unique advantages are totally different from the each countries, right? So
yeah.
they want to make some collaboration between the Korea, right? So
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
Korea government and me discussing on the how to collaborate for each perspective with each country, basically. Also, we have
yeah,
many experiences on the AI transformation. Then we can expand our experience and our this capability to the APEC countries, right?
yeah. Right. So, Reina, who is joining us from Tokyo today, has
Mm-hmm.
asked an interesting question, and it really has to do with how you keep the influence balanced between the
Mm,
corporate sector and the government sector.
mm,
If you have a company that is providing a lot of AI services or data infrastructure like Palantir does in the United States,
mm, mm.
could they have too much influence? What kind
Ye-
of what kind of walls do you put up?
Yes, in the defense area, Palantir is really powerful player, global
Yeah,
player. Also, the Shield AI or Unreal, the other powerful areas. So, unfortunately, there are rare players for defense AI in Korea. Actually, that is my concern as well. But so the Korean government to announce the new strategy and policy to enhance the uh, Korea startups and Korea tech ecosystem or tech environment to enhance our K defense industries. So we are preparing
yeah.
this point. So we have a plan that in some years we want to um foster some the AI defense AI tech startups and companies and ecosystem that similar to the Volunteer or the other. But mm, first starting point is to collaborate with Palantir or the US companies, but as a two tracks, and second tracks, we are supporting the defense AI startups and companies as well. Okay.
So that kind of comes to Hara's message about does Korea plan to train transformers from scratch, even
Hmm.
do pre-training?
Yeah, actually, in 2021 May, I myself
Yeah,
pre-trained transformer, large-scale
right,
transformers, and that is our hyperclover models. And
right.
still, there's about 5 or 6 companies are pre-trained from scratch their models, and the Korean government are supporting the national AI champion teams, right? They are trained from scratch, train their foundation models. So I think except the US and China, Korea has many players uh, which have their capability for from scratch training models. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a really important point. In this series,
Yep.
we had a speaker from Manus, which is down in
Mm,
Singapore, and
mm,
they had really used kind of existing models to develop
yep.
their general purpose AI
Mm,
agent, is what they're
yep.
calling it.
Mm,
And
mm.
it's a different approach to go all the way from scratch. Another important question from Sumit, are there initiatives to acquire talent from outside South Korea? What about the kind of work visa requirements if you're an AI expert and want to go to Korea?
Now, sure. So in the policy or strategy, the when announced in last Friday, these the some foreign global researchers programs are included. That's quite some innovative programs. So we are welcome to all the global AI researchers and scientists. So we can the more we will announce more details for these programs. Okay.
So can you tell us a little more about what will happen at the program in San Francisco in December?
Yeah. I'm not sure the exact date is 11th or 12th. Our
Somewhere
the
around then. Yeah, we'll find it
yeah.
and we'll send it
Yeah.
out to everybody in our
Yeah.
list.
So our the university and some companies and our Minister of Science and Technologies officers will visit in San Francisco. So I can share more details via your email. Okay. Then please share this information
Okay,
with all the students.
we will be happy to do that. We have a
Thank
big list of our community and we'll be happy to share that.
thank you so
Um,
much.
do you see Korean startup companies as getting sufficient attention in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, sure. Actually, oh, I think almost all Korean startups want to go to the Silicon Valley or the Bay Area or the US markets. So, and many the investors also they ask the founders to go to abroad considering the market size in the domestic market size. So, so, so I think the go to global is very important issues, and I think it is essential to go the basically the go to global, right? So that is we are the
So
giving
that's from the
the
Korean
programs.
side, but
Yeah,
do you think the US side is paying enough attention?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because I do think that it's very easy. You know, Silicon Valley received 80% of American venture capital investments in AI last year.
Mm,
And so, there's a lot of interesting things happening.
yeah.
Um, is the government concerned that Korean startup companies are not being received well enough outside, especially
Mm,
in the Valley?
yeah, yeah. I think that is similar cases of I think this is not technically or the capability issues, but the considering the market size and some the difference of of the success for cases. So I think that we need to the government and the other the investor or venture capital to support the more the plausible options for the our startups. So I think the Korean startups need to be prepare for more the global terms or global side
Yeah,
viewpoint to appear there the attract attract to the global investor, I think. So
yeah. And actually, I think especially at the semiconductor level, the chip
mm,
companies, AI chip
yeah.
companies from
Mm,
Korea have done extremely well here.
mm,
So, have a question from Hara about. the elephant in the room, meaning China. And I think that the real issue that I'd like to ask about, China has focused on open source model development. Are most of the models in Korea open source or closed source? And also, how can you benchmark your progress related to China?
Mm. Yeah, actually, many the powerful Chinese companies release their models open source, right? Such as DeepSeek or QN or the
Yeah,
Kimi, Minimax or something like those.
yeah,
Or the I think we need to consider the possibility of the supply chain risk if their license will change,
yeah,
then that go to the supply chain risk, right? So, and uh, I think the US also has a similar concerns on this issue. So I think
yeah.
the action plan includes some the open source effort in the US action plan. I think so. Korea has some similar thought. So, but we need to consider the portion of the free training data in for um, the regional or local data, okay, the language or
Uh-huh.
the other cultural data
Right.
issues. So, Korean government support the all the companies for their models open source, and based on our open source models, we are supporting some our open source based ecosystem, and with these experiences, the companies, Korean companies can co-develop and co-train with the other middle power countries such as Southeastern Asia countries, right? And these models can be also opened or released via the Asian or Southeast Asian region. I think that is the main approaches. So I think considering the property of the each open source models as kind of biased for the each culture, it is
Yeah.
natural, right? So we need to make some diversify and diverse choice for all global users and global players, right? For the diversity issues.
So I'm curious how you see multilingual models
Sure.
as, you know, will naturally an LLM be multi-language, or
Yeah,
is
sure.
it better to have small language models
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
integrate them at the agent level?
Mm. Yeah, basically the advancement of the training technology, the very small portion the language data can provide the multilingual the capability. So main issue is perspective or understanding, deep understanding of each cultures for this is a dependency on the portion or amount of the major languages, right? Not
Yeah.
the translation or not just the decoding. So, Korean model has also very diverse about, as I know, 20 or 30 linguistic language models.
Yeah.
But the basic perspective and bias, more the bias in understanding Korean cultures, right? I think a
Uh-huh.
Chinese model is the same cases and the US model is the same cases.
Yeah.
So multilingual property is not issued, of course. In nuance, a very deep expression might be some the gap, but in many the
Yeah.
typical the application, there's multilingual
Yeah.
is not severe. The main
Yeah.
issue is the cultural bias, right?
Yep. Not a language issue, it's a culture issue.
Yeah, yeah.
So this kind of interfaces with Kangte's most recent question, where
Mm,
Kangte is assuming that, like operating systems, models are going to
mm,
eventually, all except two or three really big successful ones will disappear.
mm,
Do you think that will happen? And if
mm.
so, how do you make sure that Korea has one of the two or three?
Good question. I think there exists a big differences between the OS or the typical
Yeah,
software and AI.
yeah,
AI is intelligence and cultural perspectives, right?
yeah,
So
right.
actually, people can give some input to the software, then all software can the same output, right? But
the considering the property of AI, given a same question, the answers are totally different
Yeah.
depending on AI. That is the main difference. So, um, if these property make AI diversify on the global. That is some the perspective and the cultural issue, I think, and the identification issue, I think. So
So
there are
culturally, it has to
many
be able to
countries.
deal with multiple cultures, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yes.
Yeah.
So if there exist multiple cultures, then there should exist multiple AI models, right? I
Yeah.
think.
Multiple AI models, but also I think there's an advantage to a country that looks at
Yep,
globalization relatively early.
yep. Mm,
Um, that is has been an advantage of Korea because
yep,
the domestic Korean market is not small,
yep, yep.
but most Korean companies
Mm,
realize they have to
yep.
have global exposure in order to be successful relatively early.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
And I
Mm,
think that has a lot of good,
mm,
you know,
mm. Yes,
says
exactly.
good things about what will happen for Korea's models in the future too.
Mm, mm, mm.
Who knows? Maybe we have the K-pop, the Korean large language model version of
Mhm.
K-pop.
I wish.
Um, so, how do you see your job developing over the next 2 or 3 years? Uh,
Uh,
what are the kind of big changes you're looking at as happening that you want to make sure that as things emerge, you the country keeps up with?
mm, this is a very difficult question. Actually, it is difficult to
Yeah,
predict 1 or 2 days
right,
after.
right. Yeah,
I think all people will live with AI, the agent or the robot or the other issues. So
yeah,
that means AI is not a tool, kind of some companion, I think. So that means the people should know how to live with AI as a companion. So that means the government should prepare this new norm to the how to live in the
hmm,
AI era. So I think all the countries and all the government should prepare this so some policies or the other some the regulation or the other method, right? But so I recently focusing on the how to people adopt this
yeah,
new with a very diverse method. That is
yeah.
the main issues, right? Mm.
Lost you for just a second at the very end, but I think your point came across.
Mm.
A couple of just sort of things about your personal perspectives. What was the hardest thing about shifting from being in private sector research to being working in this policy uh, pr role? The most difficult thing for you to learn?
Mm. Mm. The first is I should change as the early bird.
Yeah,
I should wake up the 5:30 a.m.
I see. So the technical community tends to be a late
Yeah.
community. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I should arrive at 6 a.m. in my office.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
I should wear this very formal formal
right.
suit. So basically, when I worked in private sectors, I should round the t-shirts and the short pants and the slippers, very free style. But it's not possible.
Yeah. So I have one last question, and then we can call a day today. And that is, do you have advice for the students in our audience about how to deal with AI, whether they're AI experts or whether they're really just going to have to use AI. What encouragement would you give to students?
So I recommend I recommend please use the frequently as possible as you can. And
Right.
so you need to know what AI can do, what AI cannot do.
Yeah.
That is very important, right? But this cannot be learned by only YouTube or the other lectures.
Right.
The experience is very important, right? And and actually the subject of to change the features are you, these audiences, right? So I think the more the active the behavior on AI is very important. We cannot we cannot avoid the new paradigm shift in AI, I think, right?
Right.
So the more the actively behavior and using and understanding AI is most important issues, I think, to know
especially
AI.
since it's changing so quickly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, Jung-Woo, Dr. Ha, thank you so much for a wonderful session today. Really appreciate you taking the time out of an incredibly busy schedule to share what's happening in Korea with Korea's national AI development and AI policy. It's been an incredibly informative session, and we look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And please pay attention to Korea's very good, very
Yes,
good countries for the AI research and the develop. Okay. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Thank you.
And
We'll
thank
call
you
it
for
in
inviting
today.
me and listen to me. Thank you.